and welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of What am I saying? To another month, another edition of the Hatchery Cup number 12. I'm, of course, your Live VIP, and with me, I'm joined by my lovely plushies, the lovely people in the chat as well. Welcome, bienvenidos, everyone, to another Hatchery Cup. You may be wondering, what is this? This is a monthly open tournament, and usually, historically, we have casted this via replays, but here we are covering this live instead for the first time in a long time, and hopefully for many more times to come. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our blue Protoss player representing the Platinum Esports. It is Art. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, sorry, the red Zerg player. The red Zerg representing Platinum Heroes instead from the land of Belarus. It is Nikich. Here we go. I do apologize for the opener, but here we are diving into a ZVP again. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. This is a European-centric tournament. It's open to all players from every single region from all around the world. But the time zone is very European-centric here, so if we see an NA player or a player from Oceania, then you can fun out of them for being degens and and staying up deep late into the night as we are sinking our teeth into the Hatchery Cup. Again, we have plenty of amazing players. Quickly going over the bracket itself, we have players like Strange, we have MinoVK, Geralt is here, Young Yakov, Wayne, Nikich, Art, Cristiano, Nikrak, Rostock, GG Machine, and many others. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty impressive event overall. I'm excited to see who is able to make a deep run in this. I'm here for it. I am ready for it. Give me that StarCraft. Again, this is our second broadcast of the day. We were earlier live with the KSL. A couple of hours ago, like 1.5 hours ago, we were live with the KSL, but we have since concluded that event. Now we are here with the Hatchery Cup, and fun fact, we have another event afterwards. We have the Infolet Monthly Cup as well, as for some reason, both monthlies lie on the same day. So yeah, we're going to be going from one event to the other. A lot of StarCraft going on tonight. We're here for it. Cool. As for the time being, we are getting into our openers. It is going to be a Hatch Gas Pool standard opener from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, Art was trying to disrupt the opener himself. Is just going for a gate expand into a Stargate. There it is. Stargate is on the way for Art. Should be for Oracle production. I say that, but the Stargate was thrown down a little bit further back. A little bit suspect here. This would not be a bad position for a Void Ray instead. Again, traditionally, we would throw down the Stargate a little bit closer to the edge of the map. Closer to the edge of the main base, I should say, to reduce the time it takes for the Oracle to get across the map to kill some workers. The fact that it was thrown back here behind the middle line is suspect. It is very suspect. The Overlord is going to be confirming the lack of additional tech. Does confirm the Stargate, and we'll see what comes out first. Our eyes are on Art. Are on Art right now, and here we go, our first unit of choice. We are headed towards, the Overlord, and it is going to be a Void Ray. This makes sense. This is why we did mention it, just because of the positioning of this Stargate. It makes the most sense for a Void Ray opener. Now, this is going to get interesting. The goal of the Void Ray, kill the Overlord. Kill the Overlord with an S at the end. Kill the Overlords, as there are also Overlords out in the center of the map as well, to deny vision, deny scouting, to keep Nikich in the dark, and this can go in a couple of different directions. This could lead into a second Stargate and mass Void Ray production. This could lead to a second Stargate and Skytos, could lead into a Twilight Council with Glaive Adepts, could lead into a Twilight Council Forge, into a standard opener, into a third base. Could be anything. Could be so much under the sun and then some, and Nikich won't know. He's going to be shut down. Overlord does fall back at home. He's going to be droning, dealing with the initial Adepts. Adepts are going to be trading with the Lings. One Adept goes down. Nice pick off there from Nikich. Shutting down one of those Adepts, and he's going to be chasing down the other here as Art attempts to take a third base. Again, we should be expanding. We should be taking a third, but these Lings are going to make that difficult for Art. As it looks like we do collapse on that Adept. Ooh, it does barely shade away. Nexus in position. Oh boy, is here. Another probe should be shut down. Good damage done here by these Lings. They shut down 2 Adepts, they kill a worker, and they won't get much more done here as the Lings are finally going to be forced away, and we can hold on to the third base. Behind this, we do have an Oracle in production to harass across the map. Nikich, thankfully, is producing some spores, going for a lair. 4-minute 30 lair timing, pretty interesting timing here, pretty early on. I'm curious what the plan is going to be with that lair for Nikich, if we're just going for roaches for roach speed, or if we go for something else. My eyes are on the Zerg player. Meanwhile, second Oracle on the way. Okay, so you have my attention. So, with the Void Ray first, obviously we're hiding the follow-up. We make one Oracle and we are banking the Oracles here in the main base, building up towards a second Oracle, and we're hoping that this catches the Zerg player off guard. Nikich has one Spore at the natural, nothing at the third, and one Spore in the main. So this third base is a prime target here for some Oracle harass. And again, Nikich doesn't know that Oracles are going to be on the way. Behind this, Forge and a Twilight Council. This looks like +1 in Blink or +1 in Charge. This does not look like an all-in. Looks like a standard transition here out of our just hidden follow-up as the Oracles are moving out. Adepts, they threaten a shade towards the third base. Keeping the Queens busy. Oracles, they go straight for the third, by the way. And again, there is no Spore. Drones going down. The Queens are out of position. And we are dealing an insane amount of damage. 6 workers go down. We get a 7th drone as well. We get an 8th. And we should escape with all these Oracles. We get a Revelation off just for that cherry on top here. And Art gets away. Does escape with those Oracles. Behind this, we have Overlord Speed. We have Roaches in production. We do see Roach Speed on the way here with the completion of that lair. This could just be for scouting information. We'll keep an eye on the drone count here of Nikich as he's cutting workers at 53. 53 workers. Roaches are not necessary. This feels like Dropper Lords. We are amassing Roaches back at home. We do have Lings already getting across the map, but a good force field. Good force field here from Art. He will defend. But again, I don't think we plan on droning up any further. Yep, there it is. There's the all-in. We spoke about the 4:30 lair timing and how peculiar that was. Now we see why. It's for Roach Speed, it's for Dropper Lords, it's for the all-in. So Nikich, he's forced into an all-in. His economy is crippled behind this, so it's in a really rough position, so may as well just send everything across the map. And Art hasn't seen this. Art didn't... Oh, he saw the lair finishing, and I wonder if that was enough of a tell. Void Ray dips in, should get eyes on the lack of saturation, but alas, the army has arrived in Art. Is warping it defensively. We only have one shield battery though. Only one shield battery to defend. Lings, they have arrived. Immortal pops out, but we have plenty of Ravagers, and we lock down the Stalkers. Yeah, big surround here. 1, 2 Stalkers going to be getting picked off. A third Stalker goes down as well. Big losses already. And this may just be too much. This may be too much here as the Queens, they do get dropped off. Lings are floating across the map. Ravagers are busting through into the third base. Yeah, GG gets called. We're caught with our pants down, and Nikich takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there from Nikich, as even though he was caught off guard by the Oracles, he didn't care. He was getting ready for his own all-in anyway. We saw the fast lair, into the fast road speed, into the Dropper Lords, into the eventual all-in, and Arch just wasn't able to get eyes on it. He wasn't able to confirm. He had a Void Ray getting poised to try to get a scout off, but he wasn't able to see and confirm the lack of saturation. He didn't see the army moving out across the map. Very well executed there by Nikich. Again, on Oceanborn, it is not uncommon to go for all-ins just because of the short rush distance by ground. You can be very aggressive and very assertive on Oceanborn. And with that, Nikich takes a 1-0 lead. Overall, I do like the build of Art. I am quite fond of like his game plan coming into it, but again, just was lacking some scouting despite killing so many drones. Like, he did well for himself killing workers. Just was not aware of the follow-up. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have the Blue Protoss player representing Platinum Esports. Oh, down in this series, looking to fight back. It is Art. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the red Zerg player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich, leading the series 1-0. Udamas, one more is all he needs. One more is all he does need, but alas, Art is no slouch. Again, he is willing to shake things up as well. I would love to see Art go for another Void Ray opener and go for a different direction, right? Just play with the series, try to get into the mind of Nikich and try to feed him some false information. I would not be opposed to another Void Ray start. And again, it can go into wherever we so choose. It can go into Sky Toss, can go into Glaive Adepts, could even go into standard play. We'll see. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on the pylon positioning for Art and where the second pylon is placed. The first one here in the low ground, gate expand. Standard open out of Art. Meanwhile, Nikich across the map is going to be getting into his own hatch gas pool. See in the chat. So that link run by saved the rest of Nikich's overlords. I wonder if that was intentional or merely fortuitous. I think it might have been a little bit of both. As in, the Ling counterattack there, or the Ling flood, was because of the adepts. If you remember, we did see Art overextend a little bit, and he lost his first adept, and that's go time. Like, if you lose one adept in the early game, bam, you know that that third base is going to be vulnerable, and you can abuse it. And it did end up forcing the Void Ray to stay at home, as we saw, which did save the overlords. So it was kind of like, you know, 2 for 1. like even if it wasn't a Void Ray opener, the Lings would have gone anyway, and they would have kept the Oracle back at home if it was an Oracle opener, for example. But yeah, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. As we do have our probe across the map, going to be tasing away at that drone. Keeping tabs here on Nikich. Meanwhile, Art's going for his tech of choice. Once again, same position. Pylon here at the Gas Geyser. Stargate behind the mineral line. This looks like another Void Ray opener. Again, typically you would not hide your Stargate in such a way if it's going to be an Oracle opener. So I'm feeling a Void Ray, but we'll see. We'll see what he decides to go for. As he could even just be trying to mind game his opponent and make it look like a Void Ray, just go Oracle instead. Overlord dips in, trying to get eyes on the tech. Does confirm the lack of Stargate out in the open, which is suspect. So the Overlord is forced to go further in just for the scout, just to confirm. And because it's being lured further into the main, we should be able to chase it down with the Void Ray. There it is, Void Ray opener. So once again, same start for Art. Just because it's a Void Ray first doesn't mean it has to be Oracles again. That's the power of this opener, is that there are a lot of follow-ups. So he could do Oracle again just to catch Nikich off guard. He could do something completely different, likewise, to catch Nikich off guard. Void Ray is on the way. As the Overlord is being forced into the corner, Void Ray is going to be shutting it down. So we have a very similar dynamic to what we saw in Game 1. But the question becomes, what is the follow-up? Regardless, we should still be leading into a third base. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have our Queens get in position. We do have a Spore on the way, Spore in the main base. And after what happened in Game 1, it's possible that Nikich will get a Spore in every base. This time at the third as well. Just because of that Oracle. Speaking of, it is going to be an Oracle follow-up here from Art. Once again, banking them up here in the main base. I'm not fond of doing the same build, though. I'll be honest, I'm not fond of whipping out the same build 2 games in a row. I feel like that takes away some of the strength that you have as a player that's keeping your build hidden. As the first Oracle is going to be zooming across the map. Okay. Interesting. Meanwhile, the Void Ray is hunting down more Overlords. We have already killed one. There is a second Overlord that's a little bit exposed here outside of the main. Lings, they come in for a bit of a counterattack. They do kill one of the Adepts, but the Oracle is in position. The Oracle will clean this up, and the Void Ray can hunt down another one of these Overlords. It looks like we do come across one. Potentially. Now, never mind. Oh, a bit of an overextension here from Art. Oh, bleeding out a lot of HP. Whole damage is dealt to Art. Behind this, Forge and Twilight Council, we're going for a standard transition. This time, we have not built up additional Oracles. We only do have the one. So one Oracle, we have warped in additional Adepts instead, threatening that third base. What I will say is that this Roach Warren is a little bit earlier. This was a 4-minute 50 Roach Warren. So a little bit earlier than normal. Adepts, they do threaten that third base. They do get in, and we're locked in. There's no way out. We have to cancel the Evo Chamber. The Adepts, they do bust forward. 4 drones go down, and more workers are forced to delay their mining. There's that recall, though, on the Adepts. One Adept will fall. But overall, good damage dealt here to the economy as Nikich is still not mining. No! We're still not mining. We're still left idle. At the same time, Oracle threatens that natural base. Getting 5 kills. And Nikich is droning, by the way. Nice surround. Good surround on the sentry. Good pick off as well. Overcharge is wasted. And Nikich is saturating his bases. Unlike the previous game, he is not going for an all-in. There's no early lair. The lair was on time. Roach speed on the way, and we're just saturating our bases. Void Ray is going to get caught out. Ooh. Art does overextend. And as we mentioned, it's going to be a standard follow-up here out of Art, and Nikich is happily droning, and this time not going for an all-in. He's saturating his third, getting for his fourth. Baneling S is on the way. Roaches are in production. We have an Evo chamber for upgrades. We're working towards the mid-game. Meanwhile, Art is the one with the gateway explosion. Interesting. So we have 2 gateways already done. We have 6 on the way. That's going to be 8 gates in total, which is quite an impressive amount, what I will say. Wait, did I say 8? Hold up. Sorry, is that 10? This is a 3-base all-in. Yeah, there we go. It is going to be a 3-base all-in. We are amassing sentries here behind the natural base. We are building up the immortal count. It's going to be one big Blink Stalker Immortal Sentry all-in. 10 gateways in total. My apologies. I missed out on the count there. Are we crazy? We're not. I mean, we are crazy, but it's that, yeah, crazy. 4th base in production here for Art. Again, just keeping his army pinned back at home. Just keeping it hidden here. Basically, a fake 4th. There's a fake 4th base out of Art. We just see Nikich moving out at the same time. He's still droning. He's taking up towards an infestation, but he's working towards a hive. Oh. Art, sorry, Nikich is getting a 5th and working towards a hive. Bailing Water Black here on the right-hand side. We dive on top of the 4th base. It's going to be cancelled. But we didn't care about the 4th anyway. Bailings are waddling in, and there's no way out. No! Delayed reaction. Delayed reaction here from Art. And 13, 16 probes go down. And 19 even. 20 workers. You may be thinking, do we really care because we're going all in? The problem here is that, yes, we are all in, which is why every worker matters that much more, because we need to warp in. We need to reinforce. We need to sustain the all in. Good force fields. Yeah, we pick off Roaches and Ravagers. A very good trade here for Art. And again, he's completely all in with this army. It's all or nothing. There is no 4th, there are no upgrades. There's +1, but there's no +2 on the horizon. There's no further tech. We gotta go. We're sending everything across the map. There's a warp in. Again, we have 10 gateways, but only enough for 6 stalkers. There we go. We're trickling in a couple more units. We just don't have the economy here. Force fields are thrown down. We get some decent bailing connections on some of the sentries, but the force fields are just a little bit too good. Are trading so efficiently, breaking through the army, getting on top of those roaches. He needs to break through a little bit further, though. Again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Nikich. We do morph in a wave of Ravagers. Files, they connect. They connect with the army. We can see Art slowly trying to break through on top of the base. Oh, even a bit of miscontrol there at Nikich. Attacking that hatchery. And the hatchery, it is going to be going down. Or at least it should. Hatchery does fall. Nikich trying to chase down the army. Does get the sentries. The Bailings. We saw some connections. Here we go. Biles are going to be connecting. Nick is still trying to break through, but the concave, it's too much. It's too good. And Art, has he done it? Has he broken the back hero of Nikich? It looks like he has. He forces back the army. He gets a kill once again on the 3rd base. The Roach Ravager army is being thinned out. Likewise, so is the Stalker army. This has been a long all-in. The boys are being pulled. Pull the boys, Papi. Pull the boys. Let's go. Can we hold on? We're running out of steam. We're running out of momentum here for Nikich. He's running out of units. It looks like Art has indeed done it. He still has 2 immortals behind this, a good amount of stalkers. And instead of going for the natural, which I would have assumed he would have done, he's actually going for the 4th. He wants secure damage. It's risky. I would say it is risky to go for the 4th base, because he's giving Nikich the opportunity here to build up. And more legs, more roaches. The Biles! Ooh, not quite connecting. And we get a kill in the hatchery. And Art, he has secured himself at this point. He's secured himself. Nikich down to only a handful of Ravagers. Does not have enough. Ooh. Oh my god, the Biles are pretty insane. The Biles are looking solid here. We blink on top of the army. Once again, the Biles, they connect. They crash into the Adepts and the Stalkers. But we can afford to make some mistakes. We can take some Biles to the face because Art, he has too much. He's snowballing out of control. Focusing down the Queens and the Ravagers. The boys are falling. GG gets called, and Art ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Art committing here to his all-in. We saw that he was hiding his sentries, preparing his immortals as well. The fourth base was a fake. I was concerned after he lost his third base mineral line. I was concerned that he would not have enough resources to sustain the warp-ins, but he barely did have enough. Wasn't warping in efficiently. Remember, he was warping in like waves of 6 and then waves of 4 afterwards, instead of 10 at a time. But regardless, he was able to break through. He was able to break through in the end, and GG. Congratulations to Art as he ties up the series. We have an ace match. We're going all the way to game número 3. Let's go. Let us go. As vetoes are going to be under... Oh, sorry, it's not vetoes are the way. The lobby is being made as we speak. And this could still go either way. That's what I wanted to get at. Again, basically, we've seen all-ins from both players. Game 1, Nikich won with an all-in. Game number 2, it was Art winning with an all-in. Game 3, do we all-in each other? Do we play macro? Do we play standard? It could be anything. Could be anything here from our players. I'm here for it. I am ready for it. Let's go. As it looks like our players just need a little bit of time here to set things up. Do need some time. It's okay. It's all good. They can take their time, Papi. They can take their time. It's all good, Papi. It's all good. Meanwhile, we have some other updates coming in already. Again, exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves. It looks like our players need a little bit more time to, prepare themselves, so we're more than happy to give it to them. As we head on over here to our bracket scene, and yeah, we have quite a number of matches. We have Shameless already taking down Middle VK 2-0. Big win there for Shameless. Middle VK is one of the big names in this tournament, and he is knocked out in the first round. Shameless is Shameless, and he's been looking very impressive as of late, so I have my eyes on him. Meanwhile, we have other players. We have Fix and Horseradish facing off. Winner goes up against Strange. I would favor Strange in that series, and I would favor Strange to go up against Shameless. Strange versus Shameless would be a very interesting PvP. I don't know who I want to favor there. Could go either way. Could go either way, but they should be facing off in the quarterfinals eventually. Scrolling down, we have UED Soldier versus The World, and we have a result. UED Soldier does take it 2-0. Nope. UED Soldier does take the series 2-0. Now he's up against Geralt in the next round. He's up against Geralt in a PvP. Do wish Geralt the best of luck. Geralt is going to be one of the favorite players to advance on and make a deep run in the tournament. We'll see how he compares to UED Soldier. Scrolling down, we have Eastos versus Nanian. Winner goes up against Young Yakov. If all goes as it should be Geralt versus Young Yakov in the third round. But hard to say. Hard to say. Anything can happen when it comes to PvP, so it is not a sure thing that Geralt brings down UED Soldier. We have Wayne waiting for his opponent. We have Nikich versus Art, which is we are currently hosting. And the players are ready. We're getting into the ace match. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hardlead, we have the blue Protoss player representing Platinum Esports. It is Art. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player representing Platinum Heroes. It is Nikich. Go. Again, Nikich versus Art has gone all the way to game number 3. As I mentioned before, it's been all about all-ins. It's so far, at least. Game 1 was Nikich going for a 3-base. It was a 53 drone Roach Queen all-in on Oceanborn, where the queens were drop-loaded across the map. It was a bit of a German taxi from Nikich, and did catch Art with his pants down. Meanwhile, it was in game number 2 with Art going for a 3-base all-in. Was 3-base saturation, around 66, 67 probes. And going for a 10 gate Blink Stalker Sentry Immortal all in. It hit like a truck. Did stumble his way in, like through the all in, as he did. He was sending a lot of economic damage, that is true, but was still able to pull it off nonetheless. But now what happens here in game 3? We're loading into Hardlet. Hardlet, a very small map, short rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored. Aggression is favored on this map, so which direction will we go in? Who will be the aggressor first? Do we go for another Stargate into Void Ray? That is the question. Let's go. Let us go here. As for now, it's just going to be a gate expand into Cybercore. Standard opener out of Arts. Likewise, Nikich going for a hatch gas pool. So nothing out of the norm in the early game. Everything is looking as it should. Ooh, as the probe and drone were to tussle with each other. They do have a bit of a tussle. You see Nikich getting across the map with his Overlord. Gets eyes on the Stargate. Once again, Stargate has been thrown down behind the mineral line. It's looking like another Void Ray. It's looking like another Void Ray opener here from our Protoss player. He's done it every game so far in this series, and now is not the time to deviate. Now is the time to commit. The follow-ups, though, they've been different. They've been varying here for Art. We'll see what he goes for. For now, he isn't actually rallied to the Overlord. Despite spotting it, despite seeing it, doesn't rally towards it here. Do we go Oracle first? Do we go Phoenix? What do we got? What do we have here? As Stargate does finish up. And it is, okay, it's going to be the Void Ray. It's going to be the Void Ray opener here out of Arts, as to be expected every game so far. The question becomes, what do we do afterwards? We'll keep an eye on Arts. Meanwhile, Nikich, has taken the forward base. Very important here. Nikich, instead of expanding linearly, he expands towards his opponent. We spoke about all-ins on this map, and this base specifically is very good when it comes to spreading and launching creep forward past these rocks to knock down these rocks, past towards the center of the map into the natural base of your opponent. Doesn't take long at all to spread creep, and this can lead into Roach Queen all-ins. Doesn't mean it will, but it can. Can be on the table. Art's going to be shading on out. Expansion has been taken. Going for the third on time. Adepts are in position. Ooh, that was okay. The first Overlord going down to the Void Ray. Do you have an Oracle follow-up here? And up. Okay, that is going to be a Twilight Council, but we keep the probe around, looking like a Forge alongside the Twilight Council, or do we throw down the Robo? There it is. There is the Forge. +1 and Blink going to be on the horizon here for Art. Standard follow-up. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild. Looking like a standard follow-up here from Art. Meanwhile, our eyes are on Nikich because that is an early Roach Warren. That is a 4-minute 30-ish Roach Warren timing. No reason to get it this early on. Absolutely no reason, so I'm feeling aggression here from Nikich. Yeah, the creep is spreading forward. I mean, the creep is spreading in all directions, to be fair. But again, typically against the Stargate opener, you would delay the Roach Warren until the 5-minute, until now. But the Roach Warren was far earlier. As you can see here against the Stargate opener, like, there's nothing for Roaches to do this early on. There's nothing for them to do, which is why my eyes are on Nikich right now. Okay, Evo Chambers on the way. Gases are being taken. Lair still in production. It looks like we're just playing safe. It was unnecessary, the early Roach Warren, but it looks like Nikich just wants to play safe, just wants to play safe and sound, especially against a Glaive Adept follow-up. So just is going to be a little bit inefficient, but safer overall. Nikich is expanding and is droning. Droning off quite nicely. Meanwhile, Arch is throwing down his wall, getting his gateways up running, Robo as well, getting his third base saturated. Really, my eyes are on Arch when it comes to his gateway count. How many gateways do we go up to before we take a fourth base? Likewise, these are still pretty early Roaches. We don't need them this early on. Roach speed is on the way, +1 range as well. We are cutting workers at 64. And the Queens, there we go. The Queens are pushing forward. The rocks have been knocked down. We spoke about this at the start of the game. This is what is commonplace here on Hard lead. You knock down the rocks, you spread creep forward, and you go for a Roach Queen Ling all in. Lings are already getting across the map. We do see Art getting ready here for the defense. We're droning though. We back off. We drone. Okay, so Nikich, he did produce roaches. He produced a lot of roaches, by the way, but it looks like upon seeing the defensive position, Nikich, he is thinking better of this. He is making Ravagers. Yes, this is... The problem here is that we're spending a lot of money in areas that we don't need to. Like, this is a pretty big investment, the Roach Ravager army. We're going to be chilling back at home, and now we're droning. Now we're expanding. These workers are late, but they're at least on the way, as they're working towards Lingbane Roach Ravager. Okay. Lingbane Roach Ravager on the horizon. Meanwhile, how many gateways are we working with? Oh, it's a 10-gate all. It's same build. It's a 10-gate 3-way all-in out of Art. He is once again going for the same build we saw last game. This time his economy is looking solid. He's going to be denying some of this creep. But Nikich has an army. So we're in a weird place where both players were kind of setting up for their own all-ins. And both players have decent armies as a result. Like, this is a lot of Ravager Ling Queen. Nikich pushes forward. Likewise, Art also invested quite a lot into his own army. A lot of sentries, a lot of stalkers. Every collapse on the army. So it's the Biles. Ooh, big connections here on the sentries. Very juicy connections. Immortals, they try to come in from behind. Biles, not quite going to be connecting, but zoning back Art's army. And Nikich, he has maxed out. He's maxed out on 77 workers. We blink forward for a moment. Yeah, Ravager's going to get picked off. A couple of links as well. So it looks like we did manage to get that Oracle. Behind this, Hive is on the way for Nikich. Meanwhile, Art is taking up into a bay into Colossus. Okay, so both armies, they kind of bounce off each other. Nikich has a better economy. Meanwhile, Art does not have detection. Again, Observer just now being researched or just now being produced. Is on the way. Art's getting eyes on the 4th. Gets eyes on the would-be 5th. He's going to try and force a cancel. And the game is going to be settling from here. The game should be stabilizing from this point. Nikich has to be careful. Pushes in once again. Not too many lings. We do threaten an engage. We do threaten a dive. Banelings are going to be rolling on 4. They crash into some of the Stalkers. Stalkers, they're being forced back. And this may just be an overwhelming Roach Ravager army. Where are the shield batteries? Where's the overcharge? Not a single shield battery here at the natural base. Ay, ay, ay. Very little support. We do have an overcharge towards the left-hand side. But the damage has been done. The Immortals are being focused down. Good target firing here by Nikich. He gets an Immortal. And he's just zoning Nikich away. Sorry, he's zoning Art away from his fresh 4th. The 4th base trying to get up and running here. We catch a couple of Ravagers. I mean, Art doesn't lose his economy and he doesn't lose the 4th. Like, the 4th lives. Impressively. 4th does live. Our economy is still looking solid. Art, he is stabilizing. Like, he's surviving this, and he's looking to be in a better position here with now Colossus in production. But he still has to respect the army. Nikich, he's still maxed out. Moving forward here with Lingbane Roach Ravager. Banelings ahead towards the middle line. Armies are clashing, and we do get in. No reaction. Big connections here as 16 probes go down. Did I say 16? 26! Oh, 30! Oh my god! 30 workers fall here as we split up the Banelings between the 3rd and the 4th. And Art is in trouble. Yeah, GG gets called. No final fight as he's pulled apart, and Nikich will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nikich, as both players were trying to vie for control of that map. Both players were hyper aggressive, but alas, only one will advance on, and Nikich, he came out on top. Again, Art just needed more time. He needed a little bit more time to get into his Colossus production. He needed a little bit more time to stabilize, and just barely wasn't able to. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nikich as he does advance on. My condolences to Art as he is knocked out of the tournament. My condolences. And with that, we can take a moment here to try to catch up with what has been going on. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves.